Hey, happy Monday, everybody. We're coming out of Thanksgiving weekend, and I hope your Thanksgiving was incredible. I hope you enjoyed a bunch of food that was delicious. I hope you enjoyed time with family and friends and people that you love. And I hope that you are setting into the Christmas season with joy and excitement and happiness and just feeling the Christmas spirit, right? And I know that some of you are because I see your posts. Some of you have already decorated. You've had the tree up since the beginning of November. You're feeling it, right? You're feeling the Christmas spirit. You're feeling the excitement. You're feeling the happiness. But I know that there are some of you who aren't feeling it, right? You're just not. There's probably a group of you that aren't feeling it because something happened this year in your life that is just kind of thrown you off, right? And that's totally fine, right? We all have seasons in our life that maybe aren't as joyous and happy as others. Maybe we're going through a season of grief, a season of brokenness, a season of disconnection, whatever it is, right? We're going through that season. And the good news is that seasons, they come and they go, right? There's a beginning and there's an end to every season. And so if you're in that season right now, maybe something happened this year and you're just not feeling it, hey, I believe that God is going to get you through this season and he's going to get you to the other side of it. And next year, you will be able to focus on the excitement and the happiness and the joy that comes along with Christmas. And honestly, I believe that God can get you through it to where you can do those things this year too. But I want to spend some time talking to the group that is here that goes through a repetitive, continual cycle of hating the holidays every year, right? Because if that's you, and I know you're out there, if you go through every holiday feeling lonely, stressed, anxious, worried, rejected, all of those things, if you do that every single year, then something has to change. And I believe that this could be the year that changes for you. And I hope and I pray that this is that year, right? And so as I was thinking about this today, I was thinking about when we start focusing on all those things, that stress and that worry and that anxiety, what we do is we maximize all of those things in our life. And by proxy, what happens is we minimize the story that Jesus is trying to tell in our lives. And we minimize the story of Jesus in our lives. And I think it happens even more this time of year when the story of Jesus, who was all God, became a man, and he did it. He was born in a manger. He was born with animals all around him, right? He was just wrapped in cloth. He was born in the most humble of circumstances, and he did all of that for you and for me. And so during this season, that story should be maximized, but a lot of times that story becomes minimized because we're worried about all of these other things. And yeah, there's a lot that goes into it, right? Jesus tells us in the Bible that the enemy comes to steal, to kill, and destroy, but that he has come that we might have life and life to the fullest. And so I believe that during this season, the enemy is out and he's just going crazy, stealing people's joy and happiness and peace and all of those things, right? But I also think sometimes it's of our own doing, right? It's of our own doing because we forget that Jesus came to set us free from all of those things, right? We forget that Jesus gave us a way to not worry about those things, not think about those things, right? And so I want to ask you two questions today. Question number one is, why are you anxious? Why are you worried? Why do you feel rejected? Why are you going through this every year, year after year? Is it perhaps maybe because you spend the holiday season making sure you buy all of the presents? You're on the computer today, it's Cyber Monday, you're probably up at 2 a.m. trying to get the best deals, and you're doing all this and you're buying people presents for what? Or you're going to people's houses and you're spending all this time with people, and for what? Yes, we should do that, right? The holidays are a time to come together with family, but when it becomes a stress, there's something else there that's happening that shouldn't be happening. Maybe you come from a broken family, or maybe you're like my wife and I that come from two broken families, and so you have 17 houses that you're trying to get to all in one day. Why do we do this, right? Question number one, why? Why do you do it? Is it perhaps because you're trying to buy all of the things you feel you're missing? Maybe you're trying to buy people's love, buy their acceptance, buy their forgiveness. Maybe you're trying to buy all of this stuff, all of the things, and give it to them because you're trying to use that as a way to buy all of the things that you feel that you need. And can I just sit here and tell you today that, hey, it's never going to work. If you're doing all that to buy people's love and acceptance and forgiveness and all of those things, if you're trying to buy your way out of stress and worry and anxiety, hey, it's never going to work. Because the reality is, unfortunately, for most people, there's nothing that we could do that's ever going to be enough for them. It's a hard truth, right? I've had to learn that truth so many times in my life, I don't want to think about it, but it is the truth. It's the hard truth that nothing you can do will be good enough for most people, unfortunately. But hey, can I tell you something that's exciting? There is one person who you don't have to do any of that stuff for, and he already loves you. He already forgives you. He already accepts you. He already wants you as a part of his family. He already wants to walk beside you as a friend, to live life with you, to be in relationship with you, to calm your stresses, calm your worries, calm your anxiety, and that person's name is Jesus. That's what this season is all about, right? Question number 2, hey, have you submitted your story to his story? I believe that each and every single one of us, we have a story for our lives. We have a story of our lives that God wants to tell. God wants to use that story to impact someone else's life, to change someone else's destiny, to change someone else's eternal reservation. And perhaps we go through the season stressed and worried and anxious and discontent because we're just running from God and not allowing him to change our story. Hey, have you submitted your story to God's story? Have you said, God, I know that you sent your son Jesus to die on the cross for me, and that's what we're celebrating this time of year, but I haven't made that the focus of my life. I believe this holiday season, we can make a change. If you're one of those people that go through every holiday season just feeling all of this stuff and just hating it and dreading it, I believe this holiday season, this Christmas season can be different. I believe it can be different. And I believe that starts with submitting our story to his, saying, God, I'm going to put myself down. I'm going to humble myself. I'm going to minimize my story. I'm going to minimize all of these things that are distracting me and worrying me. I'm going to minimize all of those things so I can maximize you and your son and your story for my life. I believe that when we do this, when we make his story bigger than ours, he can then start to work on ours, and he can take that story of our life that he wants to use and wants to tell, and he can bring it in front of people to change their lives and to impact their lives. So number 1, hey, let's submit our story, our life, what we want to him, right? Let's make his story, the story of Jesus coming to the earth to become a man, to be born in the most humble of circumstances. Let's make that the biggest piece that we focus on this season. And then number 2, hey, let's just receive that gift of love and acceptance and compassion and grace and mercy and non-stress. That doesn't make sense, but let's just receive all of those things that Jesus freely gives to us. And let's realize that we can try all we want. We can buy all the gifts we want. We can go to as many houses as we want. We can try and say all the right things, do all the right things. But let's realize that, hey, at the end of the day, we're all human. We all make mistakes. And unfortunately, at the end of the day, someone is not going to think that we did enough. And if you're anything like me, that's going to crush you because you just want to make someone happy. Hey, let's get rid of that this season. Let's get rid of trying to please everybody else, and let's just receive that grace and that forgiveness and that mercy and that peace that Jesus gives to us. And I believe if we do those two things, if we will submit our story to his story, and I believe that if we just receive those free gifts that he gives us, I believe that this season can be different than all of the rest of them before and can set us up and launch us into 2019 with a new passion and a new excitement and a new focus on making our life, living our life to that fullness that Jesus talks about, right? So, hey, this holiday season, this Christmas season, I want to just declare over you that you are going to live this holiday season, this Christmas season. I don't want to get in trouble saying holidays. I just simply mean like Christmas and New Year's and all those things. Sidebar. Hey, I want to declare over you this Christmas season that you are going to live life to the fullest, and that fullness is going to come from life in Jesus Christ, right? We're going to focus on him. We're going to focus on his story. We're going to make his story maximized in our life and our story minimized. We're going to stop trying to buy the attention of all these people. And I declare over you that this Christmas season will be your best one yet. And this Christmas season, something in your life is going to change. And you're going to be able to look back and you're going to say, Christmas 2018 is when my life changed and I began to enjoy this time of the year. Hey, I believe that for you today. I believe that for all of us that are here watching today. I believe this is going to be a Christmas to look back on and know that this was the time that it all got better, that it all changed, that we stopped doing all of those things and we started focusing on Jesus. Hey, I hope you have a great December, a great couple last days of November, a great December, a great Christmas. And hey, I hope you launch into 2019 just with a new passion and a new excitement. Happy Monday, everybody.